I'm telling you, I thought I can paint the picture, but I guess I'm not really good. There are just two chairs, and there's a king and his queen or his princess. The queen is always a bad name. Um, but
No?
no, no,
Okay.
that's a nice one too. But they're the main center. They're dead center in the picture, and as big as life.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not the one I posted, right?
No, that's another one, but that's not the one either. It's like beautiful. This one I'm talking about. Look how far we've fallen.
I know it ain't that one. I just picked that
No,
one.
bags of carbon. I can't believe you had that up there for weeks.
Oh man, can't.
And like this one, Robert Carr, the one you just posted, is again nice, beautiful. I mean, if you live like this with the crowns and the
Okay, I know what you need to talk
you
about.
cannot
This
treat each other the way we treat each other. Yes,
one.
there you go. Thank you. Now look at that brother. That brother could have been on any corner. But in this situation, it's just regal. And that's under a big tree. And there's a Bible verse on that one. It talks about, like each man should be under his tree, relaxing under the shaded tree or the shaded palm, something like that. I can't remember. We're just,
I think it was fig tree, right? A fig tree that everybody would have their own.
yeah, yeah. What are you doing under there? You don't steal these and save these, Robert Clark. But you put them here. Just let you know.
There's a lot. And I agree with you because that's something that I'm always trying to emphasize with Israel because they very often like put on their garments to come to Sabbath service
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. And they always talking down about people should not be puffed up. And I said, but it's not being puffed up, it's just accepting what the Father has given you and enjoying it because everything else to me is like strange garments.
Right.
And if we, thought of ourselves as royalty and treated one another as royalty,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, perhaps it would eliminate some of the hatred
The hatred.
toward, self hatred. But it's beautiful.
We couldn't
Even
do
the
each other
AI.
dirty, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, if I go around calling you my queen or queen, princess, right? How then can I turn around and spit on you?
Well, that's why a lot of the brothers always saying, we just follow just a little bit of the commandments.
Exactly. You can be
Act
blessed.
right towards each other.
Shalom. I think I found the scripture
Thank
about
you.
the tree.
Uh-huh.
I think it's Micah 4:4. It says, but they shall sit every man under
Yes.
his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For
Boom.
the mouth of Yahweh of hosts has spoken
Bomb drop. That is exactly the one. Thank you for reading my mind.
it.
That's
Shalom.
it. See, it's like that's how we should be. We're living day to day, and there's so many things that panic us. There's so many things that can cause a disturbance to our peace, but that's not what the Most High said for us. That's not how we should be living. And in this day where you're seeing bombs and people getting blown up and countries literally ignoring Geneva Convention, literally ignoring uh, just humanity, you realize the Father says, no, we weren't supposed to be living like that. You're living below your standard.
The one thing, the idolatry thing, like they, a lot of people out here talking about they believe in God, but then they have all these idols, so
Yeah.
that too, There's definitely ain't gonna be no peace of all these idols out here. everybody got their own God, I guess.
Esther, was that you said second? Which
Was Micah 4:4? Let's see. Yeah, Micah chapter 4, verse 4.
Uh-huh. There it is.
Miqueas 4:4. Y se sentará cada uno debajo de su vid y debajo de su higuera, y no habrá quien los amedrente, porque la boca de Yahuwah de los ejércitos lo ha hablado.
Huh. Read the next verse for me if you can.
Hold on.
This verse
Um,
the spy.
For all people will walk everyone in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of Yahuwah, our Elohim, forever and ever.
You know what that says?
Miqueas 4:5. Aunque todos los pueblos anden, cada uno en el nombre de su Dios, nosotros con todo andaremos en el nombre de Yahuwah nuestro Dios, eternamente y para siempre.
This is the time when we should start figuring that out. Let the nations do what they want.
Deja que las naciones hagan lo que tienen que hacer.
But as for me and my house, we shall serve Yahuwah.
Pero yo y mi casa les serviremos a Yahuwah.
I mean, that was said so long ago, but even here in Micah, you understand, you got to make a choice because the nations are going to do what they're supposed to do. Their gods are over them.
Tú tienes que tomar una decisión porque las naciones van a hacer lo que quieren, pero tú tienes que tomar una decisión. Esto fue dicho mucho tiempo atrás, pero eso es igual hoy día.
This is going back to verse 1, right? But in the last days, it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahuwah shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it.
Miqueas 4:1. Acontecerá en los postreros tiempos que el monte de la casa de Yahuwah será establecido por cabecera de montes y más alto que los collados, y correrán a él los pueblos.
And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah and to the house of the Yahuwah of Yaakov, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Torah shall go forth out of Zion, and the words, the Debar of Yahuwah from Jerusalem.
2. Vendrán muchas naciones y dirán, venid y subamos al monte de Yahuwah y a la casa del Dios de Jacob, y nos enseñará en sus caminos y andaremos por sus veredas, porque de Sión saldrá la ley y de Jerusalén la palabra de Yahuwah.
And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nations shall not lift up sword against nations, neither shall they learn war anymore.
3. Y él juzgará entre muchos pueblos y corregirá a naciones poderosas hasta muy lejos, y martillarán sus espadas para asadones y sus lanzas para hoces. No alzará espada nación contra nación, si se ensañarán más para la guerra.
Now, why is verse 2 there?
Repeat it again.
Why is verse 2 there? Many nations shall
porque,
come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah.
¿Por qué, a qué se refiere o por qué está el verso 2 ahí escrito?
Think about the pictures we saw.
Acuérdense de las ilustraciones que acabamos de ver.
And then, what chapter and verse you?
Micah chapter 4, verse 4, but we were looking at verse 2. Micah's after Obadiah, then Jonah, then Micah, then Nahum. Nobody have a thought here? No one thinking?
As they teaching us how the law is going to be in New Jerusalem.
Enseñándonos cómo el Padre va a estar en la Nueva Jerusalén.
You know,
that's what's going on.
nations.
But
Yeah.
why are the nations saying, "Come, let us go there"?
Because they want to know the law. They want to know how it's done.
Why?
Because they was lied to.
Beautiful. They were lied to, but why?
Las naciones quieren estar allí porque quieren darse cuenta de cómo le han mentido todo este tiempo.
Who's being blessed on the earth at this time?
¿Quién están siendo bendecidos en la tierra ahora mismo?
The heathen nations.
No. Not the heathen nations.
All nations got to learn the laws.
No,
Yeah.
they're not being blessed. Who's being blessed at this time?
The Israelite, our people.
Are only he's messing with us. People are seeing, whoa, those people who kept the commandments, look what's going on with them.
Lo que están siendo bendecidos en este momento ahora mismo es en este verso es el pueblo de Israel. Y las naciones están viendo que cómo están siendo bendecidos porque han seguido los mandamientos.
Is in their midst.
Y están en medio.
Wouldn't you want to run to where that is?
¿No quieres tú correr hacia donde está ocurriendo eso?
Yeah, where the blessings are, yeah.
Yeah, even if you can't get a blessing, you still want to be near where somebody who can get a blessing. I bless them that I will bless.
Aún si tú no recibieras esa bendición, tú quisieras estar cerca de aquella persona que está recibiendo la bendición.
Right? I will curse them that curse thee, I'll bless them that bless you.
Yo bendeciré a aquel que te bendice y maldeciré a aquel que te maldice.
The people are seeing there's going to be punishments in the land.
El pueblo ve que va a haber este castigo en la tierra.
There's people going into captivity in the land.
Personas van a ir a cautiverio en la tierra.
Where do you want to be?
¿A dónde quieres estar tú?
Want to be on the good side of all that.
Better want to be. Listen, too much junk going on not to be.
Tú quieres estar en el lado bueno.
Won't be a good side.
See, there was a time when everybody thought being Caucasian was the end all be all because they are the gods of this earth.
Hubo un tiempo en el cual la raza blanca, todos pensaban que querían estar por la raza blanca porque pensaban que ellos lo eran todo.
Were it possible, we would have cursed our own black skin.
Y si hubiera sido posible, hubiéramos maldecido a nuestra propia piel negra.
And
Some
maybe,
did.
huh?
Some did.
Some do.
Algunos lo hicieron.
Right? There's many people we said, boy, they're vanilla, they're a Oreo cookie, right? Black on the outside, white on the inside, right?
Mucha gente decimos que negro por fuera, pero blanco por dentro.
They don't want to do it nothing black.
Nothing. I have a cousin like that.
No querían tener nada que ver con lo que se relacionara con la raza negra.
And my mother used to say, the only thing a black person can do for her is show her where a white man went.
Yo tenía un primo que era así.
That's how bad it was. Is. It's no fuss. It is. But the point is, it's changing now. People are making excuses about Edom.
Hoy en día las cosas están cambiando. La gente ya tiene excusas sobre o habla de ciertas cosas sobre Edom.
All the nations are looking at them and going, there's something wrong with them.
Y las otras naciones lo están mirando y diciendo, hay algo mal en ellos.
And Viv and I have a conversation today.
Vivian y yo tuvimos una conversación en el día de hoy.
saying how we used to be so brainwashed into thinking that white is right.
Como hablamos de cómo se le ha lavado el cerebro a mucha gente pensando que la raza blanca era todo lo mejor.
When I was a kid, when I was a little kid, and I went to an all-white school for a little while.
Uh-huh.
I was jealous, man.
Yeah.
Cuando yo era pequeño, yo por un tiempo fui a una escuela de todo blanco y tuve un poquito de celos.
That what? Why were you jealous?
¿Por qué
what did you
tuviste
see?
celos?
Because they had everything.
Porque ellos parecían que lo tenían todo.
The little white kid can even talk to his mother different than you could talk to your mother.
El niño blanco pequeño hasta le habla diferente a su madre de como un afroamericano le habla a su madre.
A little white kid can tell his mother, "Get out of my room. When you see that door closed, you don't come in here."
Un niño blanco hasta se se atreve a hablarle a su madre y decirle, sal de mi cuarto, y si tú ves la puerta cerrada no te atrevas a entrar.
And they got all the new toys and all.
Yeah.
Tenían todos los mejores juguetes.
Computers. Like I remember when kids had, I only knew one black kid that had a computer when it was, like when people start putting it in their house and stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yo pensando en el tiempo de atrás, me acuerdo de un solo niño que conocía afroamericano, que era el único que tenía una computadora en su casa cuando las computadoras comenzaron cuando la gente comenzó a comprarla.
You're talking about the Apple one. You're not talking about the Nintendo one, right?
Talking about the Apple.
Yeah.
Estoy hablando de la computadora Apple.
It was one more too, but it was
Macintosh.
Mac, yeah.
There it was.
La Macintosh.
And the printer was amazing. Yo, it prints right there. It's not just on the screen.
Y la printadora era increíble.
I didn't know how to use a printer until I was like 30 years old.
Yo no aprendí a usar la printadora hasta la edad de los 30 años.
And here these people got all of this and they're never satisfied.
Y sin embargo, esta gente lo tienen todo y nunca están satisfechos.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Let me do. There's a sharing sound thing I got to do.
I was gonna say too, like when you coming up, they're always, you see white kids. They had, I seen black kids with braces too, but
right.
I didn't even go to the dentist. I didn't even know about the dentist.
Exactly.
Oh man, so yeah. So.
And they had them wired too. They had the job. Some of that stuff, like, nah, I ain't want that.
But
all right, check out.
Black kids had to have bad teeth for that. I mean, like you. Really
yeah. All right, or we just learned. People see you without your tooth.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Or chip and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, here's Big Judah. He's going to share something with you.
So-called Europeans, they can switch from both. They can be European when they want to, but they can also be Latino. They can say they're Cuban, they can say they're Mexican, they can say they're Panamanian or Colombian whenever they want to. They can switch back and forth, but real people here don't have that opportunity. We are just whatever it is that you guys have say that we are. Check out this video.
All right, so before we play this video,
when they want to, but they can.
There's she's going to be cursing in Spanish. Just want to warn you. I want to wind back just a little bit.
The Europeans brought Spanish. They brought their what to do. I'm going to cover you. All of a sudden, now all the things that you've done is coming out, and now shame is covering you, and now you do not know what to do. I'm going to show you this brother's video, a little clip from his video. He did a great job just breaking it down, talking about how, you guys, the Europeans brought Spanish, they brought their Catholic religion over here, and they forced it on us. But a lot of Latinos, and people who speak these other languages, they cling to these languages, and they think that that's what makes them what they are. But these languages and everything else are European. And the fact that, like, so-called Europeans, they can switch from both. They can be European when they want to, but they can also be Latino. They can say they're Cuban, they can say they're Mexican, they can say they're Panamanian or Colombian whenever they want to. They can switch back and forth, but real people here don't have that opportunity. We are just whatever it is that you guys have say that we are. Check out this video.
Not been for circumstances. The fact is that I am an American. Yeah. But I identify as a Cuban American. That makes me Cuban.
That's not what makes them all Cuban.
Would have been had it not been for circumstances outside their control, I would have been Cuban.
So, do you understand what she's saying? Anybody? No?
I think so.
Go ahead.
Under circumstances, she would be.
Yeah.
So she's white. She's white. You're all right, right? But she says she doesn't identify with her white actual heritage. She now identifies with being Cuban. She's not Cuban by any stretch of the imagination. She just doesn't want to be white.
La señora es americana blanca, pero no quiere identificar como americana blanca, quiere identificar como cubana, sin tener ninguna herencia cubana.
Now, the circumstances that she's talking about, that if it wasn't for those circumstances, she would be Cuban. Do you know what that circumstance is? She wasn't Cuban. She wasn't born Cuban. That's the circumstance that she's saying, but that she identifies with being Cubano.
La circunstancia que ella se refiere es que podría ella ser cubana, pero la única circunstancia es que no nació a padres cubanos.
See, everybody now can identify and be whoever they want. You can say now anything, and you can identify, and people now have to call you blah blah blah. But listen to the stupidity of what she's saying.
Puede decir ahora.
Good.
Puede decir ahora cualquier cosa, identificar como uno quiere identificar, casarse sin ninguna biografía o geografía de cultura.
Now, there's a guy in the box. This is the video. It's a Zoom video that he's doing a recording. He's the middle picture box. You look at his expression when this lady gets hysterical. He's the funniest guy to watch.
Mira la cara del hombre, las expresiones de la cara de este hombre.
He recognizes crazy.
Reconocí como loco.
No one took it from you, though. You just never were.
How dare you tell me that I cannot be and do not identify as being Cuban? I cannot be who I want to be.
You could.
I feel that I am.
You could, but it's just not true, though.
This is the part that I want you guys to understand, is that I was never given that choice. I would have been that Cuban that I was meant to be. And now you're ripping that shit away. You're ripping it away. Do you see how...
So you're crying and suffering because you feel like I'm trying to take something from you. But let me tell you something. I'm not taking anything from you. I'm only pointing out the fact that to be Cuban, you'd have to be born there.
I am telling you right now, I was born in the United States. I am an American. I admit that. I agree with that. 100%. Let's move on with that. My nationality as an identified person is Cuban. And every single fucking time you tell me I'm a white girl, every single fucking time you try and rip that away from me and tell me I'm fucking European, you are denying that from me.
Is your DNA fully European?
Who the fuck gives a shit? Todo lo que yo sé es hablar español. Mi primer idioma fue español.
That's a European language.
Cada vez que yo quiero identificarme como cubana, cada vez que yo digo algo así, tú me lo quieres limpiar de eso. Hijo de puta.
The only one that's been stripped away, the only one that has been stripped away from their culture and identity is us, from your people. You have not been stripped away from anything, from nothing at all. You are crying and suffering because you feel like I'm trying to take something from you. I'm not taking anything at all. I'm not taking nothing from you. I'm only telling you the technicalities of nationality, and you're trying to claim a nationality that isn't yours. That's it. That's it. I have not taken anything from you. Nothing at all. Nothing.
You don't know the fucking thing. You don't.
What's your thoughts?
Pensamientos.
She's crazy.
She's having like an identity crisis. Like, you know how transgender, they identify themselves like, I'm a woman, though they're a man.
Right.
But will say, no, I'm a woman.
Right.
So she's doing the same
Yep.
thing. I'm
Yes.
Cuban.
Right.
You know, so she's having that identity crisis. Like,
Right.
you know.
Right.
I'm
that's
thinking,
the first time. It's crazy.
I'm thinking her parents were born in Cuba.
No.
So
No,
Me
they were
too,
not.
that's what
She's
at
just
first.
saying, out of the blue, guess what? I know Spanish, and I'm deciding to be Cuban.
No. She just picked up. She liked the Cuban culture, probably the Cuban
right.
men.
But I have something to add. Why Cuban? Why not another Latino nation?
Porque
You
es
know why?
cubana, quizás
just picked-
otro.
You know
ella
why?
está
I know
identificando.
why.
Okay, good. I'll leave it at that.
Es un crisis de identidad que ella está teniendo. ¿Por qué identificar como cubana? Although she did say that her first language was Spanish, which I didn't get.
No, she's trying to say that the first language she learned is Spanish.
Right, that's what I thought.
Which is
Not
a
no, she
European
learned
language.
English. The first secondary language that she learned, like the first language she picked up.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
out of
so ella
English.
aprendió español después del inglés.
See, and to Iris's point, when you don't want to be Puerto Rican
¿No quieres ser puertorriqueña?
because
No.
you don't get white privilege with Puerto Rico.
Porque no te dan privilegio blanco.
But if you're Cuban,
Si eres cubana,
there's still white privilege with that.
te dan privilegio blanco.
Okay, they'll treat her different there.
Minority, but not to where you will be abused by the police. You ain't gonna get
Minoridad, pero no te abusan el policía.
Something
Remember that Cuban community doesn't even want to be part of us.
That's right.
La
They
comunidad
don't even
cubana no
mingle with
quiere
us.
ser identificar con
They
otros
stay
latinos.
with their own people, and very, very seldom would they marry outside of their own Cuban people.
Other than
quedan
white.
Other
Con
than
ellos
white,
mismos,
yeah.
no se
Not that
casan con
not that they
otros.
don't marry other Latino, but very, very seldom.
It's not the norm.
Yeah,
Bien
and
poquitos se casan con otros latinos, o si no, se casan con los blancos.
So they remain like a separate entity from the rest of the Latino world because they think they're the best, all kinds of stuff.
Almost, other than Colombian, right?
Like Spain, right?
And remember the ones that left Cuba back in the 60s, when Fidel took they all have money. So the ones that were left behind in the island were just poor people and African American, black Cubans.
Right.
Los que se fueron de
ones that left
Cuba
to
en
fight.
los 1960 tenían dinero, entonces ellos se mantenían separados.
And you're crazy if you don't think she loves the Cuban man. She's into the Cuban man.
Oh, ella le adora el nombre cubano.
But the whole point is, the being Esau is so bad right now. People are saying, sorry, I don't identify with him anymore.
Remember that white lady trying to be a sister?
Del Edom o Esaú no es algo favorable hoy en día. No quieren identificar con ellos.
By the way,
she got so deep that she joined the NAACP.
Hey, yeah. Okay, so that's another one. Remember the European lady who said she was black, her dad was black, and found out her dad was white?
Yeah, they were.
Otra señora que era de europea quería identificar como negra, pero ella era de europea y ella se afilió con la NAACP.
But she tried to get on the bus early, but she once again loved the black culture.
Yeah.
Le encantaba la cultura negra.
But surely she loved the black man.
También el hombre negro.
But the problem is, we don't see the own value in who we are as these nations who are trying to escape punishment.
Problema es, nosotros no vemos el valor en nuestra cultura como los que están afuera.
When the Messiah comes back, do you think he gives a damn who you identify as?
El Mesías vuelve. ¿Tú crees que le va a dar un centavo quién tú identificas como?
They want some Hebrew kids. That's what they want.
The only way you get a Hebrew kid is with a Hebrew man.
La única forma de tener un niño hebreo es estar con un hombre hebreo.